Today, Waves of Brighton will meet Fatboy Slim.
Oggi Waves of Brighton conoscerà Fatboy Slim. Ale, andiamo?
Andiamo.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. My name is Fatboy Slim. Follow me and my Italian friends on the Waves of Brighton.
Someone in Brighton told me that at some point of your life you said, I quit the job, I'm gonna be a pop star. Is that true?
From the age of 8, all I ever wanted to do was be in, pop music. Yeah. But I didn't really want to be a pop star. I just wanted to be a musician or a DJ or, like doing something in music. So it sounds, and for that ends, the only day job I've ever had was working in a record shop, and which was part of the focus. Yeah. And at one point, I left that to join a band and moved up to Hull to be in the House Martins. And so I would have said I'm leaving my job to be in the pop business. I've always loved music, pop music, dance music, call it what you want. But that was always what I wanted to do. So yes, that was always my plan. And working in the record shop was just a means to the end.
How much time did you invest in yourself before becoming successful?
Every waking moment, I collected records, I DJ'd, I learned how to play the guitar, I learned how to play the piano, I did music O-level. We didn't have things, in Brighton now we've got BIM, or there's the Brit School, so where you can learn, but there was nothing that taught you about pop music, so I learned classical music and did a GCSE in classical, so everything was preparing me for my chosen career, yeah.
Did you know that you were making iconic songs at the time of creating them?
I mean, when I started, I'd been in a band when I was at school. I was in a band with someone called Paul Heaton, and he wrote really good songs. And that's who I rejoined when I left Brighton to join the House Martins. Paul was, I'd known him since school, and I knew he wrote brilliant songs. So I knew he had it. I wasn't quite sure where I fitted in because I've never really been a very good songwriter. But I always felt I had something to give. I didn't realise I'd be as successful as I have been and for so long. But it was just a dream, it's like when you're a kid, you just want to be. There was a TV show called Top of the Pops. Yeah. That's every Thursday, and I just, all through my childhood, I wanted to be on Top of the Pops. Anything sort of iconic or being able to... what I love most about the job is being able to touch people. Providing the soundtrack for a love affair. Saying, people get married to praise you. They do the first dance at their wedding, and being part of people's lives like that, or just giving them someone the night of their life. People, go on Instagram. They went, like last night. That was just like, Yeah. So things like that. They're the real. But I didn't really realise probably at the time that was the satisfaction you get out of it. I think in those days I wanted to be on Top of the Pops, and I wanted to, have a rider in my dressing room, get free drinks and girls and stuff like that, Yeah. So as I've got older, I realise how much music connects people, how much music can heal people, how powerful it is. And that's the thing I'm more proud of probably over the years, is to be able to have touched people and been part of their lives.
You always followed your dreams, but did you ever encounter jealousy and other difficulties at any point in your career?
Well, like I said, I got a good start working with Paul Heaton because he really knew what he wanted to do, and he was a great songwriter, and he's probably the most influential person. The 5 years I was in a band with him taught me so much. And it's... but since then, I've kind of followed my heart. I mean, I don't know, there's the difficulties are just... You don't know when you're doing something. You don't really know what's good or not. You know what you think is good, but it doesn't always translate. So you try things and you see people's reactions and then you hope they do. But you never actually know that you're doing good. So all you could do is follow your instincts and hope that works. And that's what I've done. And yeah, I mean, I suppose over the years, there've been tough times over the years when either in my personal life or in my professional life, when things were going wrong, and there was, it's been a journey up and down, but I don't think I've been quite lucky. I don't, I've never. And there was times when I thought I might have to go back and get a proper job to pay the rent, to pay my tax bill. And there's times when I thought I'm too old, I've got nothing left to give, And so there's times when you worry, but I've never really had to, I've never starved, and I've always had some kind of job. So I guess I've been lucky. And it's funny what you said about jealousy. I've never really encountered jealousy to my face.
Okay.
All my friends are very proud of everything I do, and all my family and friends, and so I've never felt. But I'm sure there must be people who hate me. There must be people that go, oh, I mean, that's probably why I don't delve too far into Facebook. There's probably people on Facebook who absolutely hate it, really jealous. But no, I mean, all I can say is if I wasn't me, I'd be jealous of me.
How important is being a visionary in music? And is it possible for new generation in a social media and a fast digital lead world to be visionary?
Yeah, I mean, I would say with everything, it's not necessarily about having a vision. Sounds quite grand, like what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's like I have a vision and it's something great.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's more an instinct, but it's more trying to be different. And when you go, whether it's social media or whether it's a DJ set, if you just do the same as everybody else, then it's really hard to be noticed, and it's really hard to turn people on if you're just doing the same as everybody else. So I think you have to try and put your own personality or do something different, or entertain. If you look, whether you're a TikToker or a club DJ, you need to do something different to get noticed. And that's probably my only sort of advice. Like you said, apart from hard work and sticking at it when things go wrong, it's there's so many okay songs, there's so many okay DJs, there's so many okay YouTubers, but then the ones who get noticed are the ones who do something different. And I think it's kind of, calling it a vision is a bit kind of grand. A vision is something that prophets have and politicians have. Yeah. It's just having an instinct of something there's something that makes people smile, or makes people, or gets their heart, or but yeah, looking at something, saying, is that different enough? Have I grabbed your attention?
Tell us about the unique feeling you had going on your first important stage in front of thousands of people. Did it make all the effort worthwhile?
Yeah, I mean, there's most. It happens very gradually because I mean, maybe now in the social media world, you suddenly go on a big stage and everybody knows you because they know you from social media. But normally you play to 30 people, and then you play to 50 people, and then but it's all quite gradual. So there's never a moment. I mean, there have been moments. I think probably the one that comes to mind was the first time I played Glastonbury with the House Martins in 1986.
Right.
And we got put on the Pyramid stage, and we'd never played to that many people before. We'd never played during daylight before. We'd always played indoors in clubs. We'd never played outdoors before. We'd never played during daylight. And this is an enormous crowd. And we were so scared. We were just like, oh my God. But the fear made us perform well. We were well rehearsed, so we got everything right. And we made lots of friends that day. And after that, I was like, oh my God, this is proper. This is like we're not a club band anymore. We're a proper pop band, So, yeah, there are moments. And I don't know, it's a bit weird because it feels really good, but then it's like, it ends. The next minute you're on the bus home, and then you've still got to do your washing.
Yes.
And you think, so all through my career, when there's moments like that, I try and to take a little mental picture. Like I'll be on stage sometimes, and I just like, okay, just for 30 seconds, just stop and just enjoy where you are, and enjoy, rather than always thinking, what am I doing next? Just look at the audience and just think, this is great, the feeling, and this is, and it started. Someone said when I got married, someone said, at some point at your wedding, you and your wife just take 2 minutes and stop entertaining people, stop saying hello to everyone. Just the two of you, just go off and just take a little mental snapshot. So I think that's important in big times in your moments in your life, just to try and take a photo, a mental photo of it, so you remember what it feels like. Because the next day you'll be back, doing your washing.
Yeah.
Music often creates communities. Your music has done this incredibly. Was it an automatic process for you, or did you have to work hard to find and create your tribe?
My parents tried to teach me that life's for all of us, and never do anything to other people that you wouldn't want done to yourself, and a feeling of community. And so whether it's music or my relationship with Brighton, I just try and be part of the community and be involved in it. But no, it's not really kind of a credo, like a vision or anything like that. It's just how my parents brought me up and how I try and bring my children up, which is, life is all about human beings reacting to each other and being nice to each other and looking after each other, and a sense of community. And that works whether it's a community of people on a dance floor in a nightclub or in a festival, or whether it's, my neighbours down the street, or whether it's, doing stuff for martlets. It's just enjoying being part of the community, enjoying being part of the human race. It's about us, not about me.
Making music today is more affordable than ever. Anyone can produce music or buy music without even leaving their home. What would you suggest to the new growing generation of musicians to keep their dreams and hopes alive? Any tips for not giving up?
There's a lot of people who took many years to become successful, but they didn't give up. And there's probably equally people who might have been really successful, but at some point, they had bills to pay, or, I mean, the good thing is, like you said, it's so much cheaper to do it. And so you can do it as a hobby in the evening, and still do a day job. Whereas before, you couldn't really afford to. But I think whether it's music or whether it's life, it's just like, if there's something you really want to do, you won't give up. You'll take the knocks.
Yes.
Absolutely. And if it's something you half wanted to do and someone, takes you apart, then you just go, oh, maybe not. But if it's something you really want to do, you'll keep knocking on the door,
Young people express themselves through music. Is it important for young people and adults to listen to music as a way to escape from the world? Or should they instead be expressing themselves?
Well, it depends if you're there to create music or to consume music. Even people who create music, they still consume it. For every great artist loved other great artists and listens to other people's music, not just for reference, but because we enjoy music, we enjoy the feeling it gives us.
Yeah.
And if you want to be a creator of music, then that's great. But obviously not everybody has that talent, bless her, my poor daughter. She hasn't got a voice. She can't. I mean, I'm the same. I would love to be a singer, but I can sing in tune, but I haven't got a voice. It's boring. And my daughter can't even sing in tune, and it's like, and sometimes she says, I'd love to be a singer. It's like, oh, well, you kind of, and it's not something you can teach someone. So I don't know. I mean, the great thing about music is there's an equal pleasure. I get equal pleasure listening to other people's music as I do creating my own. And in fact, as I get older, I probably enjoy listening to other people's more than being inspired to create my own. So and also it's kind of like you said, it's there to take you away sometimes. To take you away from a life that is stressful or boring, what I do on a Friday and Saturday night when I'm DJing is try and remove people from their normal life and take them to this fantasy world for a couple of hours where everything is beautiful and sexy and it's like, and so music can help you escape from things, but it can also really focus you. You can listen to a lyric of a song and suddenly think, they felt the same as me, and and it can ease a heartbreak. It can get you through difficult times. So it can either be an active or a passive process, and you can enjoy listening to other people's music, or you can enjoy making your own. It's kind of there. It's there for everybody.
Failing to achieve success can be demoralizing, which can affect mental health. Are likes on social platforms becoming more important than real-life experience?
Maybe to my children's generation, I don't get hung up on it, but I just go, well, the thing is, a lot of people who like me are kind of, they aren't of the social media generation, so I don't mind. I'm quite happy with the amount of followers or the amount of likes I get. But my children, I remember my son a few years back, he when he first started to go on social media, he worked out that if there was a photo with him and me, he got more followers. And he said, can we do a photo together? Because then I get more followers. And I'm like, okay, but you do realise these people aren't your friends, they're not following you. And if you get them through me, that's not really to you. And I said, and they're not the real friends, they're just, figures on your phone. He's like, yeah. He said, but imagine if you were just coming into your adult life in the world, you're a teenager, and you want to be popular and you want to be accepted in life. Imagine if there's a figure of how popular you are and how accepted you're like, and you can see that figure, everybody around you can see that figure, and it's like a quantity of how popular and successful you are. He said, imagine if that figure were, was there for everybody in your class at school to see. It's like, you'd want that figure to be big, wouldn't you? I was like, yeah. And so I think young people are going to grow up a little bit more hung up about their popularity online. But I think equally there will be a reaction. It's still the first generation of people who grew up with social media, and they might turn out twisted and introvert and weird, or some of them I think might go beyond it. I was just thinking about Italian food and the slow food movement in Italy. Yeah. It's like there might be a movement of people like, you know what, I'm just going to just switch off all this or not care about it and remember the real thing. So like food, there's tons of love has gone into it. It's more expensive and takes more time, but it's way more worth it than that kind of instant gratification fast food. So I think there might be a movement, away. At the moment, everyone's still like, the things we could do, and we can do this, and we can interact, and there's information, and like AI is going to take it to another level. Mm-hmm. But there might be a point where people just go, let's just get back to the real things in life. Let's get back to the normal things in life, and there might be a reaction, but I don't know. Time will tell. It's a weird moment for humanity. But you can imagine. I mean, I remember when I was young, my parents thought the TV was going to rot our brains, and we were allowed 1 hour of TV a day for fear that our brains would just melt. Yeah. And I turned out, I watched way more than 1 hour of TV a day, and I turned out okay. So humanity grows to accept things. I remember when when they first brought out the motor car, everyone was saying everybody's going to die. Yeah, because motor cars are dangerous. But they assimilate into humans just adapt.
Your logo is a smile. Is that the real trick to achieve success? Smile, take it easy, and believe in yourself?
Yeah, it's not necessary to smile. It's to believe in yourself and project what is you. It just so happens that the smiley just fits my character. It's not that cool. It's just goofy and happy and yeah, possibly a bit naive, you know, innocent, just sort of innocent. I kind of personally believe that if you smile at someone in the street and they'll smile back, and then the world's a better place, which is a bit idealistically, but that's how I'm wired. But then there's other people who are cool, and you know, and they hold things back, and they, you know, and they kind of, and they maintain, and that's great if you're that kind of person. So I suppose, you know, the people who, I don't know, are in heavy metal bands and their symbol is the devil. Yeah, that's the path that they've chosen, and that's how they feel about life. And you know, but I'm just a goofy, smiley person, and so it works for me. But I'm not trying to turn the world on and say you've all got to be smiley people, because I know that a lot of people just aren't wired like that, and a lot of people probably think it's a bit idealistic or superficial, you know, and they're more serious people. I'm just not that serious a person.
How difficult is living with celebrity? Did it actually change your point of view on life?
It changes the way you live a bit. You become a bit more guarded, and you don't do some things that you used to do, maybe, or you know, enjoy some things, because you know, I don't enjoy dancing in nightclubs, because people always look at me to see if I'm dancing right or not. You know, is he just being a bit of a dick? You know, so it's just little things. But no, I mean, on the whole, there's no real complaints. It opens a lot of doors for you to do things. It's very rewarding. Yeah, you're just a little bit more guarded, and a bit more embarrassed when people know your name and you don't know theirs.
What's your relationship with
my relationship with the Italian community in Brighton is sadly zero. When you were sort of saying, I had no, because I know I'm kind of aware of the Brazilian community in Brighton, but I've never really encountered the Italian community in Brighton. But I do, obviously, Italian music and food has always been a big thing in my life, and I think there's an affinity, there's a connection. So I DJ a lot in Italy, and which I love. So yeah, Italian. I think Italian crowds get my style, my sense of humour, you know. There's some countries you go and you're doing it, and they're just like, everyone's looking at you going, "What are you doing?" Italian crowds, it's like, I start doing this, and they go start doing it. It's like, this is what we do, and that sort of passion about music and a passion about food, and so yes, I love touring in Italy, hence I tour quite a lot there, and and you know, there's a parallel line with club music. You know, Italian has always been about DJs and club music, and it's so there's affinity, and I've got a lot of Italian DJ friends, but no Italian friends in Brighton. Until now. Until now.
What about the food? Do you like Italian food?
I love Italian food. Yeah.
What's your favorite dish?
Well, my favorite dish to cook is risotto.
Risotto, yeah.
I love the process. I love that you have to do it slowly and take time and have the right stock and and do everything in the right order. I mean, everywhere our promoters in Italy, they know that every meal we want to eat the local dish.
Oh yeah.
Of whichever city we're in. And last week I was in Bologna and Torino. So I always like to eat the local things, and came home with a lot of mortadello.
Oh yes.
And aged parmesan.
Oh yeah.
So I really love Italian food. I love like I said, the love and the tradition and the simplicity of Italian food is something I really love.
Yeah, you think that's the key at the end of the day, be authentic in what you do.
Passion.
If you fake,
you don't have to. I don't think you have to be authentic. I mean, I know there's a lot of Italians who don't like messing, you know, like they make the same dish that their grandmother made and nothing can be changed about it. So I'm not, it's maybe over traditional sometimes, but no, it's about passion.
Yeah.
It's about loving the food and taking that extra time, effort, money to eat nice food. And what I really love about Italians is that the sense of a meal being a social occasion, whether it's a family meal or you're with someone, the meal is part of your relationship with that person. And, you know, I've got very few rules with my children, but one of them is no devices at the meal table.
Oh, that's nice.
It's, you know, and I can imagine in Italy you know, you would be beaten with a stick. You know, if you get your phone out during a meal, it's like that should be a precious time when you're sharing food with someone and you're sharing a connection. And I love that about the Italians, that how the importance you put on a proper meal.
Thank you very much.
Is that okay?
For having us for Waves of Brighton, and again, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Well, thanks for listening.
Thank you very much.